Warning. This program may contain material of an explicit or graphic nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Broadcasting undead from the B ward, this is the Mortem show. I'm Dom.
And I'm JD. And today, we're going to give you our top 5 disabled characters in horror.
You know, I'm thinking about that, like, when I was putting my list together. And this would be an episode where it'd be really easy to sink low, you know? We could, like, really just, like, kind of punch down and, like, go for the really, really simple, you know, retard jokes and stuff like that. And I think we should aim for a higher ground. We should set the bar a little bit higher, and we should not be fucking fags about this.
Wow, that's not where I thought you were going. Yeah, this topic is semi-controversial. We're going with mentally or physically disabled characters, but they do have a large place in horror.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It is semi-offensive though, because not a lot of actual physically disabled actors portraying disabled characters, and we're not doing this to shit on people with disabilities. Yeah. That's not what we're all about here.
And there are actors that, and actually in a lot of the ones that I mentioned on my list, there are actors that play that disability with like sensitivity.
Yeah.
And that's actually how I gauge a good movie about like a disabled person. Like, you know, Franklin in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, there was no fucking sensitivity in playing that character.
No.
He's just a fucking whiny dingus in a wheelchair. So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So we are going to give you our top 5 disabled characters, and we hope you don't take offense to it. That is not our intention. If you do, well, you know, at that point, fuck you.
Don't be a retard.
God, I thought you said we were going to sink that low. Dom. The most liberal, sensitive, caring person I know, yet also the most inappropriate.
Hey, It's America. I have freedom of speech.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to be offensive. Snowflake.
Ridiculous. But before we get into our top 5 disabled characters, we got a little bit of horror news. Yeah, horror news. Good old-fashioned horror news. And the biggest horror news that everyone's been talking about. The new teaser trailer from the upcoming It movie has been released and looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It's been kind of polarizing in the horror community in that a lot of people hate remakes, myself included. But I'm super excited about it because it's not a remake, but a different adaptation of the book.
Yeah.
And that's a distinction that needs to be made. A lot of people are saying, why are they remaking the original miniseries? Well, they're not.
Yeah.
They're adapting the book in a different way, and a more serious way that's supposed to be closer to the book.
And it's the Dracula principle. Like, you know, they've made Dracula how many times? It's not like every time they make Dracula, they're remaking Dracula.
Yeah.
They're just telling a different story.
Yeah, they're basing it off the book differently, so. A lot of people said it's not going to be as good as the miniseries because there's not going to be a Tim Curry.
Yeah.
But
Tim Curry was the only really good thing about the miniseries.
Exactly.
Other than
I
the
think
nostalgia
everything
value.
else could be better. It could be more brutal like the book. I mean, hopefully we can see some children's arms being ripped off and shit. Like, that's what I want to do. But that's not my horror news, because we all know about the It trailer. We've shared it on our Facebook page. We've shared it in groups and that kind of stuff. But that being said, Dead Mouse Productions, producers of You're So Cool, Brewster, the story of Fright Night, and John Campopiano, director of Unearthed and Untold, The Path to Pet Cemetery, comes the ultimate documentary for 1990 miniseries adaptation of Stephen King's It. It's called Pennywise, the story of It.
Really?
It's a fan-made documentary that will delve deep into the 1990 miniseries that made an entire generation terrified of clowns. Not only has production begun, but a piece of teaser art has been revealed, and more importantly, Tim Curry has been confirmed.
Wow. He's been kind of reclusive since
He
he had a
has.
stroke, too. So.
He definitely has, and he's going to talk all things Pennywise, which is hugely exciting given how seldom he's been interviewed about the miniseries and his staying away from the public eye lately.
Yeah,
so.
and he never really liked talking to press. Like, you never really saw him on
Yeah,
late
he's
night
not one of
shows
those
or anything.
guys, yeah.
So that's cool.
Yep. As you probably noticed, the various home video releases of the adaptation have been lacking in the form of special features. So, needless to say, a feature-length doc featuring Curry is topical given the imminent release of the new It.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too.
I'm just as excited for that as I am for the new movie.
I wouldn't say that much. The movie, I can't wait. I have not been this excited for a movie in a long time.
No.
I'll let me see it the first day it comes out. So,
Yeah. I'll go. I live
Yeah,
closer. I
let's
only
do
live
it.
like 20 minutes away now. So
let's do it.
yeah, cool. Another trailer that dropped for something that is I'm still on the fence about, but I'm a little more interested now. Trailer for the new Mummy movie dropped this week.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. It comes out in June. It's definitely going for like a supernatural action style more than horror. It's set in the modern era. The mummy's female. She's an evil Egyptian queen. And while it looks like there's a shitload of CG, it looks like it's pretty decent CG for what it is.
If we can get some necrophilia with that female mummy,
Oh, man. Yeah, she's...
gonna give her the cruise missile.
Well, that gonna take her
That's our rating system: necrophiliac cruise missiles.
Awesome. Yeah. The Egyptian queen is pretty hot, and the whole thing is like, I guess she like the whole point of the movie is she wants to bone Tom Cruise too.
Yeah.
So like,
I saw a teaser when it showed the plane crash and all that stuff like that. It was barely any mummy stuff that was released quite a while back, and I was intrigued. But then I saw this bigger preview. It kind of made me think it's going to be more like that Brendan Fraser mummy movie.
I think it's going to be serious, where the Brendan Fraser movie was jokey.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's a Michael Bay movie, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's written by people who have done Michael Bay movies, or
Yeah.
have been involved in them. So I think as far as like big action popcorn movies go, it'll probably be entertaining for that.
I just hope that they're not going this direction with all the Universal ones they're
Right.
going to come out with. They're going to remake them all, apparently.
Right. Well, that's where Marvel was smart when they did their Cineverse. Is like they expanded with each movie, and all of the movies were a different tone. Like Ant-Man was a heist movie, Guardians of the Galaxy was a prison break movie. Every one of them had a slightly different genre to them, but then they put the superheroes in there.
Yeah.
And if they do that same concept with these monster movies, where like obviously Dracula's going to be like a romance movie.
Yeah.
And Creature from the Black Lagoon could be a straight up horror movie.
Yeah.
And, Wolfman could be a psychological horror movie.
Yeah.
The Mummy really only worked with action anyway, because with like Karloff's Mummy, like he looked cool, but he was just a fucking shambling zombie. He didn't really do much of anything.
Yeah, that's
it was
true.
it was the curses and the gadgets and the Indiana Jones stuff, basically.
Yeah.
So this is just another layer on
Well,
that.
when you put it that way, if you combine Indiana Jones with horror, I'm down.
Yeah.
Like Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a horror action.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's face melting off at the end.
Yeah. No, it's Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh,
Indiana
yeah.
Jones movies, each one of them has their own traumatizing thing, like to little kids. If you think about Raiders of the Lost Ark, the fucking melting faces, you got
Yeah.
Temple of Doom, hearts being ripped out,
Yeah.
Kali Ma, pits of fire and shit like that.
Yeah.
Last Crusade, you have when that dude, that fucking Nazi guy ages,
Yeah.
all crazy,
All fast,
into
yeah.
dust and shit. People falling to pits, people getting their heads cut off.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of horror elements to Indiana Jones.
And Kingdom of the Crystal Skull actually was very closely related to Lovecraftian mythology.
I didn't like that one.
It was definitely the worst movie.
Yeah.
But what they were doing with the crystal skulls and like the cosmic entity they were contacting was Yog-Sothoth. They never called it that, but that's what it was. And
Yeah.
if you read everything that Lovecraft writes about Yog-Sothoth, it being like the gate to all knowledge in the universe, and like to look into that gate will drive you insane. Like that's exactly what happened in the movie.
Yeah.
And so while it has a lot of stuff worth shitting
Fucking
on,
fridge.
yeah, especially the fridge.
Survivor a nuclear blast if you
Yeah.
go in an old fridge.
Yeah.
You fucking kidding me?
The Yog-Sothoth link gave me a little bit of, a little soft spot for it.
That's cool, yeah. Well, I'll give the Mummy a shot. I will. But something I would like to give a shot to. Not necessarily a movie, but it's horror news. Do you believe in ghosts?
Is that a question?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
If you do, then perhaps you buy into the stories that the late horror legend Bela Lugosi haunts the Los Angeles home he once lived in. Famous psychic Sylvia Brown once visited the home, which rests under the iconic Hollywood sign. She reported seeing the spirit of the long-dead Lugosi roaming the halls in his Dracula cape.
Was he like, fuck Karloff?
Lugosi lived in the Beechwood Canyon home between 1934 and 1937, which means he purchased it shortly after the release of Universal's Dracula. As reported by Realtor.com, the remodeled mansion, which was built in 1930 and is referred to as the Westshire Manor, Castle La Ploma, or the Bela Lugosi house, went up for sale this week with an asking price of $3 million. So for $3 million, you can hang out with the dead Bela Lugosi.
If I had $3 million, I'd go buy that right now.
As he runs the hallways in his cape. First of all, Sylvia Browne is a fucking liar.
Yeah, big time.
That's what discredits this article. Yeah. I just thought it was a kind of cool visual of this. If he died and he was like somewhat dementia and he thinks he's Dracula, and I think of this old man with the cape on. I'm Dracula!
But just the cape.
but just the cape.
Blah!
Ghost boners.
So Simon West, director of When a Stranger Calls and Con Air, has been tapped to direct the remake of The Blob, and Samuel L. Jackson wants in. Jackson was set to star in the slated 2015 remake directed by Rob Zombie that fell through in production hell. But if we can get Samuel L. Jackson calling The Blob a motherfucker...
That is pretty cool. I thought that was April Fool's.
No, it's happening.
Real?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. That's why I didn't report on it, because I thought this has got to be April Fool's.
Yeah, that's...
Tired of this motherfucking blob.
Eating these motherfucking kids. What if Samuel L. Jackson was the Blob?
That would be awesome. The Blob's calling everyone a motherfucker as a So, more psychological horror is coming from director Darren Aronofsky.
Oh, really?
Who made The Wrestler. Great director.
Black Swan.
He made Black Swan. He has an all-star cast, including Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem, which has been put together for his next film, which has been so shrouded in secrecy that we've barely heard anything about it. But, according to The Wrap, it was just revealed this week at a CinemaCon that it's actually a horror thriller in the vein of Black Swan. It's called Mother. What we know about it, Paramount Domestic Distribution Chief Kyle Davies told the CinemaCon crowd to expect thrills and chills from Mother, which has an October 13th release date. In the film, a couple's relationship is tested when their uninvited guests arrive at their home.
Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem.
Yeah.
Couple.
I think Javier Bardem has to be the bad guy.
Yeah. Is he Danzig?
Disrupting their tranquil existence. The cast also includes Michelle Pfeiffer, Domhnall Gleeson, Ed Harris, and Kristen Wiig.
It's a pretty good cast.
Aronofsky wrote the script and produced. So
I'm interested to see Kristen Wiig do serious. I've never seen her do anything with comedy. So
there's some movie where she's serious and she walks around naked.
Really?
It's very strange, huh?
I'm
very awkward.
I'm intrigued.
So that's it for my movie.
I'll watch anything with Javier Bardem. I love that guy, and I love, except for Pi, I love Darren Aronofsky. So, I'm down. So you mentioned Sylvia Browne, the bullshit psychic.
Yeah.
I've got some more news about bullshit people.
Okay.
Gerald Brittle, who wrote the biography of Ed and Lorraine Warren in 1980, The Demonologist, is seeking nearly $1 billion in damages against Warner Brothers because of The Conjuring 2 and related tales stolen from his book, which includes Annabelle and The Conjuring. Hollywood Reporter broke the story earlier this week. Now, how can you steal from a quote-unquote true story? In 1978, Ed and Lorraine Warren actually agreed in a non-competition provision, which means that they signed over all of their stories to this author, and he has exclusive rights to any story involving their paranormal work. And it's already been confirmed by a tweet that came out on Twitter before The Conjuring came out that James Wan had read his book. So they took all of these stories that he had written, made movies about him, credited all to Ed and Lorraine Warren, and didn't credit the guy who actually kind of got them into the limelight.
And didn't pay him.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he wants $1 billion. They got permission, the production team got permission from Lorraine Warren to do the films, but that doesn't mean anything according to the non-competition agreement. So this guy's probably going to get rich.
He probably is. That's interesting because, okay, well, is that on Lorraine Warren or is that on them? Because she agreed to do it, and she knows that she signed this paper, and they don't know that. Is that on her or is that on them?
It's on both of them.
Well, I mean, how would they know about that unless she told them?
Yeah, well, that's what the lawyers are going to argue in court.
Yeah.
But ultimately, they're jointly and severally liable, and Lorraine Warren is dead. So all that's left is the production company.
Yeah.
So My hope...
She's about to get that necrophiliac cruise missile.
My hope is that it becomes prohibitively expensive to make movies about the Warrens.
And they just disappear.
And they disappear.
Fade to obscurity.
Nobody ever writes anything about them ever again. Because fuck them.
Yeah, I like Patrick Wilson. I
do
like
like
him,
he's a great actor,
but
yeah.
I don't like the whole Ed and Lorraine Warren. I can't take it seriously.
Yeah.
There's good things about like the Insidious movies and Conjurings and stuff like that. There are good things, but they're also a lot
They all
of
just
bullshit.
become church propaganda at some point. Because Ed and Lorraine Warren were church propagandists.
Yep.
Douchebags.
Well, speaking of douchebags, we'll be back with our top 5 disabled characters. That's highly inappropriate. We're trying not to be... Okay, we're always offensive and inappropriate.
Yeah.
But we're trying to be sensitive about these matters.
Right.
When we talk about these fucks, we want to give them the respect they deserve.
Yeah, yeah. You know, you can talk about punching a retard, just don't punch retards.
Just don't say retard.
Yeah.
God damn it, Dom. People are going to take all this out of context. I can see the fucking listenership just dropping with this episode.
Yeah.
Every word you speak.
I'm going to have to go live with Milo Yiannopoulos.
All right, we'll be back with the good movie and the bad movie, and then our top 5 disabled characters in horror after this.
Hi, thanks for listening to the Postmortem Podcast. If you want to support us, go to our website at www.postmortemshow.com and click the Amazon link.
By clicking on the Amazon banner, Amazon will give a small percentage of the purchase price of your item back to the Postmortem Podcast at no additional cost to you. That's right. It doesn't cost you any money. We get money. You want us to keep doing this? You want more Doug Jones talk? You want more dick and fart talk? I don't care. We're going to do it.
Fund our filthy, filthy habits.
Yes, and they are many and they are fast.
And most of them aren't legal.
Yes. Click the banner. Just do it.
Come on, don't be a dick. Give us money.
It's time for the good movie. And the bad movie.
So I heard you got a really good movie and a fucking stinker.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll go first.
I got a big old Russian turd.
I got something that we've talked about in horror news.
Alright. And it was bad?
Yeah.
Oh.
We're looking forward to it. 2016, directed by Alistair Orr, starring Carlin Birchall and Sharni Vincent, From a House on Willow Street.
Oh, really? You saw it?
Yeah, I saw it. Unfortunately.
The bad outweighed the good?
The bad definitely outweighed the good. After a young woman is kidnapped, her captors soon come to realize that in fact, they may be the ones in danger, and this young woman has a dark secret inside her. In a ripoff of the Evil Dead remake, basically.
No.
Pretty much.
Wow.
You know? Not as well done, though.
Right.
A group of criminals plan a kidnapping for ransom. But when they go kidnap a girl, they realize she's being held captive or something in her house as well. She's all tied up. They abduct and take her to an abandoned warehouse they have installed surveillance to and chain her up. She says cryptic things like, "You should let me go, or you're all gonna die tonight."
It's pretty blatant.
Yeah.
Does she at least piss on the floor when she says you're all gonna die?
Nope. When they go to get the ransom, no one answers. So some of them go back to the house and others stay to watch her. She really looks like the girl in the Evil Dead remake. I'm talking about like when she's possessed, Mia in the Evil Dead remake.
Yeah.
They got an actress that sort of looks like her, and then just the makeup and stuff. It's her. They basically just rewrote another movie and stole that character. She seems to know things about the people who kidnapped her that she can't possibly know, and they see visions of her behind them like jump scares. The movie is super predictable. Really just the possessed girl in the basement of the Evil Dead movie taken out of the movie and put in a kidnapping scenario. It's not that it is badly made, just the story did not need to be told and was nothing special at all. It's Evil Dead with disappearing ghost CGI and shit.
Nah.
The gore is well executed, and so are the effects in the first part, but towards the end, like the last 2 acts of the movie, there is a lot of horrible CGI. The music's good at creating tension for jump scares. Cinematography is well done. It's not really a bad movie, it just couldn't find its own unique take on something we have seen time and time again.
It's something we've seen too many times almost.
Yeah, that being said, a couple of the jump scares got me, It is worth watching if you see all horror. You know, if you're like us and you watch basically all the horror movies, you can watch it. You can do worse, you know. But I can't see myself ever watching it a second time, and I was bored.
Gotcha.
By about an hour in, I was bored. I was checked out mentally. Like, all right. And if you're gonna rip off the Evil Dead like everyone else does, you better be fucking good at it. Because this is just a fucking. It's like every horror movie's a exorcism or a ripoff of the Evil Dead.
Yeah.
And that's all that's coming out.
Yeah. And, you know, if you're going to do it, at least contribute something to the genre.
Yeah. Definitely. I was very surprised when I pulled the IMDb and it said 6.3. I would say it's more like a 4.5 necrophiliac cruise missiles.
Ah. Coming straight for you. Right for your corpse vagina.
Straight from underneath an oversized shirt as he slides into the room on his socks. Right into your corpse. Right into your corpse's vagina.
Calling for Goose to back him up.
Wearing only a long shirt, tie, and some sunglasses. And socks.
And holding a copy of Dianetics in his hand.
Yeah, 4.5.
Yeah. My movie is called The Queen of Spades, The Dark Rite. 2015 Russian supernatural horror movie directed by Sviatoslav Podgaevsky. I probably totally butchered that. Had 4.5 out of 5 stars on Amazon. And I'm starting to learn that rating system means nothing.
It does. It's the Aunt Shirley rating system.
Yeah, for real. So, these teenagers play a game similar to Bloody Mary and summon the Queen of Spades, who kills them off one by one while trying to possess the youngest of them. It's up to the younger girl's estranged father and a supernatural investigator to save the daughter before it's too late. The dad was the only character that carried the movie. He pulled off Tormented by Regret really well. Basically, like, he cheated on his wife and got caught and left his family behind. But then he ditched the mistress and was trying to, rebuild his relationship with them, and then all this shit happens. So he's kind of a piece of shit, but was kind of a piece of shit, but he's trying to redeem himself. The paranormal investigator was kind of cool, but everyone else was just a fucking cheap stereotype. The young girl was a blank slate. The older teenage girl was Lolita, because fucking Russians always have to have teenagers trying to seduce adults. There was a nerd and a cool kid, and you could tell he was cool because he always had a guitar with him. And the mom looked like Ivanka Trump, and I wanted her to die the whole movie, and she didn't.
And she didn't die?
She didn't.
That sucks.
Yeah. So the story itself was inconsistent as fuck. There were so many loose ends and pieces that went nowhere. Like, the dad was having some trouble with his business, but that didn't mean anything. There were, people who could have shown up and, helped or gotten killed and been extra victims and didn't. There was just all this stuff set up that they didn't really know what to do with. And the kids just existed to be victims. They didn't contribute anything to the story. The Queen of Spades was supposed to be, Russian Bloody Mary. But she made herself so obvious by killing everyone while she was trying to possess the girl when she could have just been like, oh, you're possessed now, I've got you.
Well, it goes without saying, the best Bloody Mary movie of all time is Candyman.
Yeah.
Just stop. Just stop, people. Candyman got it done right.
I'm at the point now where Bloody Mary movies are now my new Ouija board movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike Flanagan's gonna have to make a Bloody Mary movie now.
Yeah, I bet he can. He can do it.
Well, he kind of did with Oculus, I guess, because it was about a mirror, and Bloody Mary came.
Yeah, but it wasn't really that. It was like a possessed mirror.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you said something to summon a ghost. It was the mirror itself was evil.
Yeah.
And I really liked that. That was a cool
yeah.
thing. An evil object without a theme of this evil object like Annabelle the doll is because this woman and she possessed it.
Yeah.
No, this mirror is just fucking cursed.
Yeah, it's evil. It's got ghosts.
It's an evil fucking mirror.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, Oculus was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I think that's
very underrated.
Very underrated, yeah.
This movie couldn't decide if it wanted to be a teen slasher or The Exorcist. The only solid story was the story of the dad, and everything else was just a fucking mess. Special effects were crap CG. Really bad. The music and sound design were good. Whoever tried to build tension with the music and with all the stuff, the whispering sound effects were happening in the background, all that stuff sounded really cool. But the rest of it, the fucking Queen of Spades herself looked like one of the cheap-ass mummy special effects from The Mummy. It was that quality from, the Brendan Fraser Mummy, the first one.
Yeah.
Not quite as bad as maybe The Scorpion King, but bad. I almost gave it some slack because it was a Russian horror movie, but at the same
I
time,
don't think I've ever seen a Russian horror movie, honestly.
That Come and See movie that I really like. It was a Russian like war exploitation movie.
Yeah.
And Russians know how to make good movies. I mean, some of the greatest, like when you take film classes, some of the greatest filmmakers are Russian filmmakers.
Auteurs. That's what Nicholas Winding reckons.
Yeah, exactly.
These Russian auteurs.
But this movie, I almost found myself thinking like, oh no, you're just being a fucking American asshole, being like pat the Russians on the head and like let them make a shitty movie. No, they've proven they can make good movies, and also like there were cultural differences highlighted in this movie that like you see that and you're like, whoa, that's
they get really drunk.
That's how no. Yeah, the dad got drunk, but like the way they lived, like the way Russian architecture is, and how it's all like block related and like efficient as fuck and all that. Like it really highlighted all of that, so it actually like drew out the cultural differences and made them make sense.
Yeah.
So I can't say, oh no, it wasn't just cultural things that I wasn't getting, because I got the cultural things that I wasn't getting.
Yeah.
It was just a fucking shitty CG laden ghost movie that gets shot out apparently all over the world.
Yeah.
Added nothing to the genre. It was just fucking boring crap with a few nuggets of corn in it.
If I never see another ghost movie, I'll be okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm that done with the fucking ghosts.
Yeah. It's, when they're done right, they're awesome. And I'm willing to sit through shitty ones.
I would rather see a bad slasher than a bad ghost movie any day. Because ghost movies are few and far between as a really great movie.
Yeah.
Slashers, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm definitely not going to gauge my Amazon picks on how many stars it has anymore.
No, dude, don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't even watch Amazon Prime anymore. I won't. Honestly, I think I'm going to cancel it and not get it next year.
I still use it for the delivery stuff. Like
but I mean, honestly, how much are you saving? If it costs you $100 a year, you have
it
to
doesn't
save
cost me shit.
It's
I use my dad's account.
Well, let your dad pay for it.
Yeah. Fuck you, Amazon sponsor.
Fuck you, Amazon, and fuck you, dads of the world. Wait, I'm a dad.
Crippled dads.
Well,
so I'm giving it 4 out of 10 necrophiliac cruise missiles.
Necrophiliac cruise missiles, and looks like Russia should stick to playing hockey because that's what they're good at.
And swaying elections. They were really putting out the shits.
Oh God, Taco. That's our end song. Taco is a strange fucking little man.
Yeah. He picked a good name.
He did. Taco. Everyone loves tacos, except for Garrett. Anyways.
Fuck you, Garrett. Speaking of disabled people.
Fuck you, Russian dads, Garrett, disabled people. We're good. We're going across the board with how offensive we can get. Yes. Well, my good movie. 2016, written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
Really?
Believe it or not, as my good movie of the week, an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Starring James McAvoy, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Betty Buckley Split.
It was good.
It was very good.
Good.
And it was very surprising of how good it was. It's like it came back to its roots. Like Sixth Sense is a great movie. Mm-hmm. It still holds up.
Yeah, Unbreakable's a great movie.
Unbreakable's great too. And 3 girls are kidnapped by a man with a diagnosed 23 distinct personalities. They must try to escape before the apparent emergence of a frightful new 24th personality. That sounds like a stupid fucking concept.
That's a terrible concept.
23 personalities, but watch out for the 24th.
Yeah.
It works.
Wow.
It works. The only reason it works, James McAvoy. He's tremendous.
He's a good actor.
He plays 23 fucking different roles in this movie as one guy. He does different voices. His body posture changes when he's different characters. To where halfway through the movie, I would know what character he was just by his demeanor before he spoke.
Wow.
That's how strong of an actor he was in this.
I'm gonna hook him up with a girl from what the fuck is that Canadian show called? Orphan Black.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, she plays at this point. I think she's like 15 different characters, but her whole thing is they're actually individual characters and they interact with each other.
Well,
so
that's
like
crazy.
they like digitally put her into the scenes, but it all looks good.
Yeah,
and it's seamless, and like she's interacting with herself in all of these scenes.
That's fucking weird.
It's a fucking Olympic level actor.
I'm going to be a little concise with this review because it is an M. Night Shyamalan movie, so it does have a lot of twists and turns, and I can't spoil them for you because I want you to see it. But they're in a parking lot at the beginning with one of the girl's dad they all get in the car while the dad goes and loads the shit into the trunk, and then someone approaches him, and you hear something get thrown in the trunk. The trunk is shut. The man gets in the car, in the driver's seat. The back girls in the back don't even pay any attention to it. They're like just still talking, blah blah blah. The girl in the front is just looking at him, and he's got this fierce ass look on his face. And she's just looking at him. She's getting scared. She puts her hand on the car thing, the car door handle. Mm-hmm. He goes, no. He just shakes his head. She takes it away. The girls look at him, and they start screaming, and he sprays this. He puts this little mask on, like a little surgical mask, and sprays this chemicals in people's faces that knocks them out. That's how he's able to abduct them. So he knocks the back two girls out. She grabs the door again. He's like, no. And then she doesn't do it. Because she don't want to get the fucking chemical mace, whatever the fuck it is. So takes them to a locked room where his different personalities interact with them. And they all warn him of something coming for them. He also sees a psychiatrist regularly when certain personalities reach out to her saying they need emergency meetings. Then he goes there and says, oh, I just wanted to talk. Nothing's wrong. But other personalities are like, no, bad things are happening. I need to see you,
Yeah.
Personalities include a little boy, a British woman, a pervert, etc.
A British female pervert.
Definitely a Shyamalama Ding Dong Shiny Monkey movie. Just when you think it's going somewhere, it has some twists. I can't really give it a full review because saying any much more than what I've said already would be a spoiler.
Yeah.
That's how many fucking surprises are in this fucker.
Wow.
So, James McAvoy is truly amazing as an actor in this movie. One of the best performances I've ever seen.
Wow. That's saying a lot.
Yeah. Anya Taylor-Joy is great as the main girl as well. The other two girls, not so much, but the main girl, very, very strong actress. So, stick around during the credits. Stay all the way till the end of this movie. If you watch it all, watch it till the end. Stick around in the credits because there's a little Easter egg that I'm not going to spoil, but
I know what the Easter egg is.
Everyone would enjoy it.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I know what it is, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and it was out of nowhere too,
yeah.
So it's crazy. IMDb gives this a 7.6, pretty strong for a horror movie, and one of the best reviewed and well attended in the theaters horror movies until Get Out came out. So I would agree. I would say maybe even like an 8.
Cool. Maybe Shyamalan's crawled out of his own ass, and
I don't think so. I think it's a fluke. I think he'll go back to being shitty.
Okay.
Unless Unbreakable 2 comes out, we'll see.
Right.
So I would give it an 8. Necrophiliac cruise missiles.
RJ Cruise missiles.
No, just necrophiliac.
All right, my good movie was also an excellent movie. It's a 2009 dark fairy tale directed by a guy named Jamin Winans, and it's called Ink, like pen ink.
Oh yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah,
it's like a cartoon kind of on the package.
Yeah, but the movie's not a cartoon.
No,
at all.
not at all. I've seen it.
So a mysterious creature known as Ink steals a child's soul in hopes of using it as a bargaining chip to join the Incubi, a group of supernatural beings creating nightmares. But as he journeys with her through the land of dark nightmares, he starts to become attached to her and question whether or not he actually wants to become an incubus. The character who played Ink was fucking excellent. He had a wide range of emotions, always seemed a little bit genuinely crazy. Everyone else was good, but he really he made the movie, and he was acting under a full face mask the whole time.
I got to rewatch it. I've seen it, but I saw it when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I thought the story was really great. It was it felt like a Neil Gaiman story, full of weird characters doing weird things in a weird world. There was a twist at the end that was kind of obvious, but the whole movie, up to that point, I thought was really, really well done. And what really made this movie is the production, because it clearly had a limited budget, and it really forced the director to get creative. And he did some really, really cool stuff with really talented body actors combined with CG and actual hand-drawn animation. The Incubi themselves were like these shadows, these silhouettes of people where you could just see the glasses
Big
they were
white
wearing.
eyes, yeah.
And then they had these TV screens that they would hold out that had their emotions on them. And these creepy faces would static in and out of the TV screens. And it kind of felt like Labyrinth, but with humans and animations mixed instead of puppets.
Yeah.
And it was all just super dark. The movie never really let up.
Yeah.
And I liked it a lot. I thought it felt like a fucking living nightmare. This is a very much overlooked movie. Not a lot of people I know have seen it. And it's definitely something worth watching if you like things that are uniquely creepy. It gets kind of ham-handed with the touchy-feeliness towards the end, but the movie has a good sentiment, and everything that leads up to it was very, very well executed on its very limited budget. So yeah, I'd say go back and watch it again. If you haven't seen it, go find it. It's definitely something that there's nothing else like it. I've never seen another movie quite like this.
Yeah, it is. It kind of reminds me of that movie Low in a way. Not that they're similar in tone or anything like that, but it's just its own thing. Yeah, and it's refreshing.
Yeah, and there doesn't need to be a sequel. There doesn't need to be anything else like it ever again. It's just it is what it is. So I put it on par with movies like Six String Samurai, or my favorite non-horror movie is a movie called Head. There's nothing else like it in the world.
I've never seen that. What is it?
It's made in 1968. It was directed by Bob Rafelson, who made Easy Rider, and written by Jack Nicholson. And it stars the Monkees.
And it's one of your favorite movies?
It's dark as fuck.
Really?
It ruined their career.
Hey, Hey, We're the Monkees.
Yeah, because like Hey, Hey, We're the Monkees, like the TV show was like light and funny, and all the kids liked it. And the Monkees got to the point where they hated it, and so they made this movie that was totally like just a total send up, middle finger, fuck you to 1960s pop culture. Yeah. And they brought in like Frank Zappa and Annette Funicello and all these other fucking weird ass people to be in it. And it doesn't really have a set narrative. It's like the Monkees going through this hallucinogenic Hollywood bad acid trip. Wow. And like, yeah, it's totally fucking insane. And there's never been any
I'll have to check that out. I've never heard of it.
I'll loan it to you. I've got it on DVD.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nuts, and no other movie I've ever seen has ever captured that level of insanity. Ink is very much like that.
Have you seen anything else the guy who made Ink has made?
I have not.
We should research that.
Yeah, I'll look that up, see what else he's done.
Yeah, since then.
Yeah, because he was definitely he struck gold here. He definitely has a few visionary bones in his body. Yeah. So I want to see if he's done some other stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 necrophiliac cruise missiles.
Necrophiliac cruise missiles, and pretty much in line with our ratings there. Both of our ratings are down at the 4s, up at the 8s. Yeah. Been a kind of good and bad week, but we will be coming back next week with some more good and bad movies. Hopefully, we can find a real fucking good movie, because it's been a while. Yeah. I think we will. So, we will be back with the top 5 disabled characters, mentally, physically,
emotionally.
Number 0 is Biff. My dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 0, the most mentally disabled character in all of horror podcasting. Yeah. Horror pet podcasting.
I don't know. I'm starting to think maybe Brady Snellis is a little bit mentally disabled.
Yeah, he might be as well. So we'll be back after this.
Available now at gravecommand.bandcamp.com. The debut album of Grave Command.
Yeah, what happens when you get deep, crust, grindcore, and combine it with Motorhead?
It gets brutal as fuck.
That's when you get Grave Command. We are not fucking around, ladies and gentlemen. It is my band, Grave Command. It's our first CD. It is available now. Soon it will be coming out on vinyl record, CD, and even cassette. And 8-track.
Like anything like Hall & Oates.
It doesn't sound like Hall & Oates, and we're going to have 8 tracks, cassettes, CDs, vinyl records.
Yeah.
Any format.
Hand crank phonographs.
Laser discs.
You're going to etch it into a cave wall and have someone play it on a pan flute.
Those little wax tubes.
Yeah.
You know, Thomas Edison first recordings? Yeah, I'm gonna go that far to get this fucker out there. But if you guys like punk rock,
we're gonna have a blind homeless man fart it into a can and then mail it to someone.
That's exactly what the recording is, though.
Oh, okay, cool.
But if you guys like punk rock, check it out. Grave Command. We're on Facebook, and you can get some free preview tracks at gravecommand.bandcamp.com. And we're back with the top 5 disabled characters in horror.
Taking the short bus to the beat ward.
This is a list that's very near and dear to my heart.
Yes.
If we have any listeners left,
everyone's like, fuck, click, 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 click.
Come on, guys.
This is the podcast that they're going to bring up when one of us runs for president.
Yeah. Well, hopefully these numbers do okay, but we have been on an upward swing. Been doing pretty good. We appreciate all you guys tuning in. Send us some feedback. Give us some ratings. Don't rate us based on this episode.
No. Unless you like it, then go
Unless
ahead.
you like it, yeah. But send us an email, postmortemshow@gmail.com. Let us know how you like the show, what you like, what you don't like, and suggest a top 5 list. I didn't come up with this top 5 list. It was suggested to me by listener Biff. Biff the dog.
Right.
So, yeah. Top 5 disabled. Mentally, physically, any kind of disability.
Yeah.
Why don't you fire off your number 5?
My number 5 is Alan from Monkey Shines. He was
yeah.
quadriplegic. Had a monkey that was creepily obsessed with him. It's a really kind of understated movie. You know, people don't really...
Quadriplegic sex scenes.
Yeah.
That should have been the rating system for a second.
Keep that one on the back burner for
It
later.
still works.
Yeah.
The boner still works, even though he can't move his hands. How is that possible? Like, I don't understand the way the human body works sometimes.
I'm
The
not...
dick still gets hard, but you can't move.
Yeah, I'm not a neurologist. It just sucks
play
when,
with
you're
it
by,
on TV.
sucks when you're by yourself.
Yeah, you can't... Dude, that would suck. You can't even beat off.
Yeah. You'd have to get a monkey.
You need a wet nurse. You need a monkey.
A monkey dressed like a nurse.
A monkey dressed like a scantily clad nurse.
Just like a candy striper. But the monkey did become creepily obsessed with him. And when she saw him having sex with that woman, she went crazy. So that's the only way that story can end.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it's not a classic by any means. It's not something you want to go back and revisit once a year or something.
Yeah.
But if you haven't seen Monkey Shines, give it a chance.
It's George Romero, and it's George Romero saying, "Oh, you liked what I did with Night of the Living Dead? You're going to give me a bunch of money? Cool, fuck you. I'm going to do something completely
We're gonna
different."
do some quadriplegic sex scenes with monkeys.
Yeah.
My number 5 is about a crazy old man who lives in a house covered in dead animals and Christmas lights. And he's definitely mentally handicapped, even though it's never referenced. I'm talking about the old man in Nightbreed.
Yeah.
His best friend is a taxidermied dog, which he has conversations with, and he sympathizes with the monsters of Midian because they're just different, just like him.
Yeah. He knows what it's like.
He knows what it's like. This guy was way over the top. The actor who played him, so fucking over the top.
Yeah.
Just so good. Oh, why do you gotta do it?
He went full retard.
Oh, no.
It happened.
God damn it, Dom. Trying to keep this classy, we said. Trying to go for the lowest common denominator.
That's right.
Yeah, but that crazy old man, I didn't ever find a name for him on the credits or anything.
No.
Like that. Just that old man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he with his fucking dog, and then Dr. Decker and his son Double Decker come in and they cut off the dog's head, the taxidermy dog's head. And the old man goes,
Christmas lights bleed out of it.
Yeah, that old man. What are you going to do that for?
That's pretty good.
He is disabled. Like, I don't know. I could not diagnose. I'm no psychologist.
Right.
I mean, you guys might not believe that listening to this, but
The funny thing is, I'm the closest one to the psychologist here.
what would be your diagnosis for that old man?
Oh, he's definitely developmentally disabled. Like
Developmentally disabled.
Yeah.
Not dementia or anything like that.
No, probably not. He was probably like that beforehand.
Yeah, when he was young, even.
Yeah. I'm swinging.
Collects things.
Yeah, I'm swinging into seriousness mode now. But like, we have people at my work who have dementia now, but were developmentally disabled.
Dom lost his job. Next postmortem.
But before they got dementia, they were developmentally disabled, and like they have a very, very distinct way of behaving versus people who were not disabled before they got dementia.
Yeah, I gotcha.
There is a distinction there. So, and I think that guy was more just. I mean, I saying someone is mentally retarded is not offensive because that is an actual thing. Saying you're a retard, that's what's offensive. Like, I would never do that to a human being seriously.
Yeah,
because that's fucked up. But yeah, that guy was mentally retarded in the clinical sense.
Yeah, just like when we talk about Biff, my dog, Biff.
He's actually mentally retarded.
He is mentally, like, if you guys don't think a dog can be mentally retarded, you gotta meet Biff.
Yeah. But
he walks into fucking walls and shit.
Yeah.
He's got a screw loose. And if you ever notice why there's this black and white dog on all of our graphics for all the episodes.
He's our Corky.
Morty is our mascot. He's just our unfortunate mascot.
Yeah. He's like Morty's sidekick.
It all started when we talked about how my little retarded dog has the biggest dog dick ever.
Gigantic red rocket.
Gigantic.
And really, that shows that there's justice in nature.
We're talking about like summer sausage size. It's like a summer sausage.
Packing a kielbasa.
A corkscrew summer sausage.
Dragging on the ground.
Yeah. He doesn't even have to bend over to lick it.
It just shoots up between his front legs and hits him in the face.
He hasn't trained.
It's prehensile.
It's
he
curving
can swing
up.
from it like a monkey.
It's not curving left or right. It's just curving up towards his mouth.
That's evolution for you. The fuck number are we on?
We're on number 4, but one last Biff story before we proceed.
All right.
Scratching behind the ears. He was really liking it one time, That's when I first got him. I didn't know about him yet. Scratching behind the ears, just giving him some attention, Wearing sandals at the time. A liquid substance came out of his dick onto my bare toes.
Oh, God.
I'm not going to say he busted a nut. Just, it leaked a little bit.
He pre-came.
I think it was pee. Might have been doggy pre-cum. And I had to show him who's the master, so I made him lick it off.
Yeah?
Say, get down there, you glitter rope!
Now you have David for that.
Oh, God. That's enough Biff talk. Let's go to number 4.
My number 4 is Will Stanton, the motherfucking wizard master from Nightmare on Elm Street 3: The Dream Warriors.
Oh, yeah. He's on my honorable mentions.
Paraplegic. But in his dreams, he was the wizard master.
He does.
And he's a fucking badass for all of like 35 seconds. Then he gets fucked up. But
D&D.
Yeah.
He's pretty sweet.
Yeah, he goes into the world of role-playing games to forget about his disability, and it's almost enough to save him from Freddy, but not quite.
Yep, he just can't get the job done when it all comes down to it.
Yeah.
All right, my number 4. Mom says when I wear this badge, you treat me like a man of the law. Well, Mom also says to stop sticking your dick in the vacuum cleaner. Special Officer Doofy from Scary Movie.
That's right.
Special Officer Doofy reporting heisted. Special Officer Doofy is the man. He goes full Kaiser Soze
He does.
at the end.
Yeah. He's...
With his little kid's badge.
Yeah.
Small ass backpack. Pencil thin mustache.
Yep.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's the best part of that whole movie to me, honestly. I really like that character.
Yeah, it's a great character.
Sticking his dick in the vacuum cleaner. It's the way to go.
And,
Maybe you want to try it, but I didn't have the right type of vacuum. I didn't have the right type of attachment.
Oh, yeah, you stick it in the kind that just has, like, the bottom suction.
Yeah.
And then you get it stuck in the
The
bristles.
Hoover,
and...
yeah. There's like some strings, some hairs stuck in there, a dick or two.
It's right in there next to the dime with some bubble gum on it.
Yeah, Special Officer Doofy.
My number 3, Deborah Logan from The Taking of Deborah Logan. She has Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah.
Or does she?
You know what? I really like that movie.
It's a great fucking
It
movie.
was terrifying.
Yeah.
The mouth scene, we're not going to give it away, but the mouth scene, fuck.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen that yet, I don't know if it's still on Netflix or not, but
I don't know.
I think it might have been taken off of the streaming, but Taking Deborah Logan was great.
It's a legit scary movie, and it deals with the subject of Alzheimer's or dementia, but in like the realm of horror. And obviously, it was the writer or the director like processing some sort of family member who had that.
Yeah,
and trying to come to terms with it.
Yeah, and you know what I watched the first time I watched it, I was watching it. I thought it was pretty good. I fell asleep. Mm-hmm. I woke up right as the fucking shit was hitting the fan. I went, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
Because then I had to rewatch it all. I had to turn it off right there, like, oh god, I don't want to spoil it now.
Yeah.
Turn it off, rewatch the whole thing the next day. It held up. It was pretty fucking awesome.
And it's a slow burn, but when it gets to that point, it gets to that point. And like the funny thing, I don't know if funny is the right word, but back in the day, like before there was science, they thought that people who had dementia or had Alzheimer's or any of those diseases were possessed by demons. So it's sort of bringing the whole demon possession mythos full circle.
Yeah.
And saying, maybe that's actually what it is.
Yeah.
And the actress who played her,
she did so good.
She was so good. And the makeup artists that were in there that transitioned her from being the non-demented version of herself to what she became. The way that they did it with the gradual makeup effects was all just so fucking good.
Yeah, I think it doesn't get its due.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I really don't. I think it's very underrated. So
yeah, it gets overshadowed by worse movies.
Yeah, for sure. From the same year or even.
Yeah.
So, all right, my number 3. Kept in the back bedroom with crazy spine, twisted face, terrified the shit out of me as a kid. Their spinal meningitis, Zelda from Pet Sematary.
Rachel! I'm gonna twist your spine like mine.
Yeah.
The scenes where she's not like going off on her when it just shows her and stuff are more terrifying when she's a kid.
Yeah.
Before she comes to her like in the vision and stuff. But Zelda in Pet Sematary is one of the scariest things you'll ever see.
Great makeup job.
Great makeup with the back, with the fucking, you can see the bones. Disgusting. And just the twist on her face, too.
Yeah.
She's got like a sideways neck, like her head's tilted at like an impossible angle.
Yeah.
Ugh. So it gives me the heebie-jeebies today because I saw that movie when I was a little kid.
I've got a friend named Rachel, and every time I see her, that's Rachel. Shut up. She's creeped out by it too.
Yeah, Zelda from Pet Sematary, fucking crazy.
Yeah. Well, number 2, Jacob Singer from Jacob's Ladder, post-traumatic stress disorder.
That, I guess it is a disability.
Yeah.
It could get you cash some checks out of it.
Yeah, yeah, it could get you some disability pay.
I went with more of the like born this way kind of disability. You know what I mean?
Not the acquired.
Not the
disabilities.
well acquired if it's something like spinal meningitis. I mean,
Yeah.
I doubt she was like that when she first came out the womb. But
Right.
yeah, I thought about it. It did come up in my research. But I love Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah.
But one of the greatest underrated movies of all time.
Yeah.
But
Very,
definitely,
very solid movie.
definitely a functional PTSD guy. You know, before the shit hit the
first.
fan. At first, yeah.
Yeah,
Put me in that tub of ice.
yeah.
With all the neighbors coming in and watching me naked.
Yeah.
In a tub of ice.
Watching your dick
It's
shrivel
like
up.
a nightmare, huh?
Yeah. Well, the whole movie's kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's another movie where it's never quite clear if there's something supernatural happening or if it's post-traumatic stress disorder, or in this case, even if it was the government, chemical experiments and things like that they were talking about. And I like movies like that. They kind of leave you guessing. You know, they don't necessarily have all of the ends cleaned up neatly, and there's enough evidence that it could be any of it. But he definitely had some post-traumatic stress disorder, and the Tim Robbins. I think that is probably his best performance of any movie.
It's a precursor to like Silent Hill, like some of the effects in that movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Silent Hill is a lot to that movie.
Definitely. So.
And Silent Hill is also mostly about post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
So.
My number 2, it's a tie, but I go with one of the two characters. They're both from the same movie, but one of the two characters is the reason I put them on the list, but they're friends. It's almost an Of Mice and Men relationship. M-O-O-N. That spells Tom Cullen. Yes, sir, that's my name. M-O-O-N. M-O-O-N. That spells deaf and dumb. Yes, sir. M-O-O-N. From Stephen King's The Stand.
Yep.
Tom Cullen and his buddy Nick.
Yeah.
One of them is stupid as fuck. Is that an offensive way to put it? He's definitely mentally handicapped.
Yeah.
And then the other one of them can't speak.
Yeah. Stephen King handles he uses disabled characters in a lot of his stories, and he always handles them really well. I've never read any of his stories where his disabled characters felt like he was using them for exploitative purposes.
Yeah, for sure. Not like us today.
Right.
But Tom Cullen with his Nick he's the main focus of the movie. Honestly, he's like one of the main in the book.
Yeah.
One of the main characters in that whole story. Tom is not so much in the forefront, but Tom has a disabled haircut.
Yeah.
And overalls and shit. Like
Yeah.
he's definitely that actor nailed it. And he's big. He reminds me of Mice and Men. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's definitely a Lenny. What was that actor's name?
The big guy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've seen him
This
in
is the only
something
thing
else,
I've seen him in, I think. But Yeah, he's a big dude in overalls with this disabled little kid's regular parted haircut. But it's also like semi-balding and kind of shaggy, like, and everything. If you ask him a question, he'll tell you, "Yes, sir."
Yeah.
And give you an answer, and then he'll always tell you MOON. That spells whatever the fuck it is that he's talking about. I don't know.
Spell one thing.
He has the moon disability. What the fuck do you call that?
Lunacy.
Good one. That's very punny.
and that actor, like he did something really, really difficult, and that was like when you look at him, you initially think like, did they get a mentally retarded person to play this guy?
Oh yeah, he nails it.
Not everyone can do that. Like Leonardo DiCaprio did it when he played Arnie in What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yeah,
I'd
really
never seen
did
him
it.
in anything else
Yeah.
before I saw that movie, and I was like, whoa.
He did really well. Yeah.
That's not something that everyone can do.
He's like, for me, of that movie, the guy that like blows shit up. All right, that's a great actor. Even the Randall Flagg, the main, and the old lady, that's great. But I also think if you're gonna do it, if this really nails it, if you could readapt The Stand and make it better and make it longer and be more true to the book and make it more brutal and just up the budget, because these miniseries that came out, along with a lot of them, the Langoliers and all this shit, it pales in comparison to the book,
Yeah, well, they had to pull so many punches because they were made for TV.
Yeah,
and they didn't quite have the budget. What I would like to see is if the Dark Tower series really works, they could take a lot of that cast and do The Stand, because Randall Flagg is the Man in Black.
Really?
Yeah, in the Dark Tower. Yeah, there's a lot of tie-in with all of that.
I never knew that.
Yeah,
I never read the Dark Tower, so I never got into those ones.
I'd recommend it. It's almost not horror. Like it's just its own thing. It stands on its own, but it ties into The Shining. It ties into Salem's Lot. It ties into The Stand. It ties into Langoliers. It ties into It. It ties into. There's a huge twist in the second to the last book that I won't give that away. But
to me, the best adaptation of one of his stories, I'd say the best two is App Pupil. Mm-hmm. App Pupil from the Different Seasons book.
Yeah, great.
But that finished way differently than the movie.
Yeah,
and it was way better.
Yeah.
Also, Needful Things was like one of the closest good adaptations.
Yeah, great movie. I mean, of course, like the Mist was a great adaptation too. But it was. Again, they changed it a little bit.
And that's okay, though. He liked the change at the end more.
I was actually a fan of the miniseries version of The Shining with Stephen Weber and Rebecca De Mornay.
I never watched it.
I thought Stephen Weber was actually a better, truer to the book Jack Torrance than Jack Nicholson was.
Wow, okay.
Because he played the character subtle. And since it was a miniseries, they could show his full transition as opposed to him just going totally psycho right off the bat.
Yeah.
So, it had its flaws also, like the hedge maze, the hedge animals came to life and they were shitty CG and things like that.
That's cool.
That's how it happens in the book. But, Rebecca De Mornay and Stephen Weber were great in their roles as Jack and Wendy Torrance.
Maybe I'll give it a chance. So,
Number one.
My
number one, probably the OG disabled horror movie character, Quasimodo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Wow, I didn't even think of that.
Congenital kyphosis is what he had.
Wow.
And that's what gave him his hunchback and his disfigured face.
In the book, or the actual actors just made up, right? They didn't use the actual deformed guy for that, right?
No, the actor was in the movie was in makeup, of course.
Yeah.
It was Lon Chaney Jr. But
I don't think I've ever seen the original one.
In the book and in the original movie, they don't say what he has, because congenital kyphosis didn't actually exist as a disability when the story was written.
Yeah.
It's just the way that they describe him.
Yeah.
Like, the medical practitioners have gone back and tried to figure out what the fuck did the Hunchback of Notre Dame have, and that was it.
I've been with some bitches that had some hunchbacks like that.
Yeah.
That's what you call it?
Yeah. Did you use them as handles?
No, you have to always put them doggy style, because you can't put them on their back, missionary. They keep rolling, roll off the bed. I'm just trying to be funny. That's never happened. All right, by number one, I have a sound clip.
I guess Kids was an exploitation movie. Yeah,
it's an exploitation movie. We'll let it pass. But this is a legitimately disabled person.
Yeah,
that it's not CGI. He is missing most of his body with a little stump with a plate on the stump, and he paddles around on a fucking skateboard.
Yep, singing "I Have No Legs."
Singing "I Have No Legs" and shaking a fucking change jar, begging on the subway.
Yeah, it's probably just some guy that Harmony Korine found.
Yeah, and just put him in there.
Yeah,
yeah. And he, we want to do justice, and I do think that they should give more disabled actors roles.
Yeah, for sure.
In movies about disabilities, and we might make some jokes, but our heart's in the right place. Yeah, you guys got to understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I work with disabled people all day long. It's one thing to like have a sense of humor and crack jokes about it, and then try and like have a conversation about it. Like we have.
Yeah,
it's another thing to be like, that person's a fucking retard and they're less than me and they should be rounded up for camps, sure. Blah blah blah. Fuck that. There's
like the guy in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Fucking retard on the grill.
Yeah.
Being pink as a blanket 10:30.
Yeah.
Shitting my pants at 11.
But that guy, the I Have No Legs guy from Kids, which is an exploitation movie in every sense of the fact.
For sure.
As a kid, when I saw that movie, that has always stuck with me, the I Have No Legs part. More than all the rest of that movie. More than all the other shocking shit in that movie.
Yeah.
That part really sticks with me. And his happy fucking grin. He's happy to be there.
Yeah. He's finding his way in life.
He's handy-capable.
He is. He's handy-can.
He's the blank man of the subway.
Wow. That's a deep pull there.
All right. Honorable mentions.
Yeah. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, I guess Leatherface is pretty disabled.
Developmentally disabled.
Physically as well, yeah.
Susie from a movie called Wait Until Dark, played by Audrey Hepburn. She's blind. Audrey Hepburn's only horror movie.
Really?
And it's an okay movie in and of itself, but Audrey Hepburn is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And she played that role really well. And my third honorable mention is Stucky from House of a Thousand Corpses.
So, you're not going to say anything about Dennis?
He was banned. I was going to adhere to the ban.
Okay. My first honorable mention is Dennis.
Oh, you're allowed to mention him.
From Cabin Fever.
Just like I can mention Reanimator all I want.
Adhere to the ban. I like it. You play by the rules.
That's right.
Dennis from Cabin Fever. A little unmulleted karate child who won all of our hearts that year.
Yeah.
He won every award at the Oscars that year.
He did.
Including Best Original Screenplay.
Yeah, he won all the AVGN awards. He won.
Joey from Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Vic, want some chocolate? Just forget about it.
Forget about it.
Jimmy Stewart in Rear Window.
Yeah?
But that was just a broken leg. When they remade it with Christopher Reeve, who really was paralyzed.
Right, yeah, that's true.
That took it to a whole new level. Franklin, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Fuck yeah.
The guy in the wheelchair in Abominable.
Yeah,
remember?
I was actually just thinking about that when you mentioned Rear Window.
Hush, the deaf girl in Hush.
Yeah.
Not the greatest movie, but definitely worth talking about. As is Don't Breathe, the blind guy.
Still haven't seen it.
Ike Clannon from Tombstone is blind and killing fools.
Yeah.
The Elephant Man.
Yeah, he's disabled as fuck.
He is. The little hand guy from Scary Movie 2. You gotta grab my little hand. That's my strong hand.
Chris Elliott. What the fuck is he doing these days?
I don't know.
Did you ever see his show? He had a TV show on Fox called Get a Life for like 2 seasons.
I did see that, yeah.
That was a weird ass show.
Yep. Mark, the paraplegic from Friday the 13th, Part 2.
The paraplegic who just wants to get laid.
Yep. The wheelchair fish legs big eye girl from Dagon.
Yeah.
That's a disability. The bottom half of her is turning into a fish.
Yeah.
And you know what happens? You gotta throw the fucker back.
Yeah.
I should have saved that for the last thing.
She's got
We're gonna transition right into the end of the episode.
Fish legitis.
Ash.
And he's missing a hand.
Yeah, he's disabled. Denzel Washington in The Bone Collector.
I forgot about that movie.
Javier Botet in Witching and Bitching. He plays just himself, his own disability, really. And you can really see his physical disabilities coming through. And Javier Botet, I'm glad he's getting so much work now. Because he's amazing.
Yeah.
He's a great character actor.
And that's really like like life gives you lemons and you make lemonade out of it. Because that condition that he has, Marfan's, like movement can be horribly painful.
Yeah.
So,
JC from Night of the Creeps, the friend that has the crutches.
yeah.
Cherry Baby from Planet Terror. Taking the lemons and making lemonade, putting an assault rifle on your stump.
Yeah.
Boxing Helena. That's a
That's
disability.
an acquired disability.
It is acquired, though. That's why it's only on the honorable mentions. And the cast of Todd Browning's Freaks.
The dude who rolls the cigarette with his mouth.
Yeah.
That guy's impressive as fuck.
There's a bunch of weird characters in that movie, but it's been banned and stuff. It was banned.
Yeah.
I remember, you used to get those little magazines where you can only order weird shit.
Yeah.
And that was like the only movie in there. And there was like the Stonemason's Handbook and all this shit. Pinhead Puzzle Box. I can't remember what the magazine was called, but when we were kids, remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
You could order shit that you couldn't get.
Yeah, I would always want to order
Before
shit
the
from them. My
internet.
parents wouldn't let me.
Yeah, me too. But yeah,
Like
that's
books
our-
or like books on tape on unlocking your psychic potential.
Yeah,
that
that
shit
kind
was
of
in
shit.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it for our disabled characters.
Yeah.
Come here, Biff. Special guest Biff. Should have brought him in. But he doesn't make any noise, really.
He just kind of whines.
No, he doesn't even whine. He just kind of like goes and puts his head on me.
Yeah.
And he
It
just
jizzes on your feet.
jizzes on my feet, yeah.
Poor Biff.
Oh my god.
Biff-abled.
Why did I record that and tell people about that incident? Scratched behind my dog's ears and he leaked a translucent substance on my foot.
It's post-mortem, man. That's how we roll. That's
It
how we
is.
roll in the B ward.
We hope you've enjoyed our top 5 disabled characters.
That's
And
right.
we hope you're not offended.
Yeah. And if you are offended, then sorry.
Yeah, so we deeply apologize.
Yeah. Yeah, we're crass here. Yeah, and this is something that I've thought a little bit about, especially since the whole, like, rise and fall of Milo Yiannopoulos and, like, the whole, like, oh, he's awesome because he's offensive kind of thing. Like, and I think I touched on this a little bit. I'm tired, so I'm probably going to be rambling. But, like, there's two kinds of offensive. Like, there's people who are offensive just to be offensive.
Yeah.
And those people are fucking hacks. Yeah, that's like the Milo Yiannopoulos of the world. That's the, the fucking cheap-ass radio shock jocks in the middle of fucking nowhere who are like, dick farts butts, and that's it. And then there's people, and we do that on this show too, but like,
We do.
I feel like there's also, like, you can be offensive to, like, shock people's sensibilities and to sort of draw attention to things that people won't necessarily pay attention to, or to make people look at a certain issue,
Yeah.
and that's what horror is ultimately about in and of itself. Is good horror is about taking something that people don't normally want to look at and, like, holding it up in front of them, but holding it up in a way that's palatable. And you can use offensive humor to make things palatable so that people will actually have discussions about them. And that's something that I hope that people would take from an episode of like this, where we talk about
definitely.
how people with disabilities should
We mean
be,
no offense
yeah.
about it, like it's a iffy subject.
Yeah.
Debating whether we were going to actually do it or not, but we're running out of topics here.
Yeah.
So if you got a topic, send it to us at postmortemshow@gmail.com. Next week, the power of Christ will compel us when we give you our top 5 priest of horror.
Yeah. The Saints of Taint.
The Saints of Taint. That should be our. If we were a tag team, that's our name.
That's right.
We're the Saints of Taint.
I was watching WrestleMania with Michelle last night, and she suggested that you and I dress up like the Bushwhackers for Halloween,
That's pretty good.
and her and Aubrey dress up like Matt and Jeff Hardy.
And then we fight.
Yeah.
And then as we dress up like the Bushwhackers and go throughout the neighborhood, we lick little kids
Yeah.
on their face. I was licked by one of the Bushwhackers.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, I was licked by the Bushwhacker at a house show in Anaheim. And then, years and years later, I wrestle a show with Luke the Bushwhacker at Hood Slime.
Did you lick him?
I did.
Yeah.
Like, here's payback. Payback some motherfucker. Just licked the side of his face.
The 10 years coming, motherfucker.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as H.P. Lovecraft once said, as he... I'm not even going to fucking go there.
Do it. Say it.
It won't even come out. It's gone now. Fuck. If it smells like fish...
No. We're not ending on that note.
No, we're not going to end it.
As
Yeah.
H.P. Lovecraft once said, when he said, "Damn it, I could do it myself," and started to suck his own dick.
I can make it on my own.
I can do it myself.
If it smelled like fish.
And the sticky big.
Hi, Cleveland.
Hi, Joseph. What's the story? Morning glory. What's the word? Hummingbird.
Have you heard Peter Griffin is slow?
Can he still drive a car? Can he drink at a bar? Will they let him have kids? Is his life on the skids?
Hello, Mrs. Griffin, it's your neighbor Quagmire. Now that Peter's mental, you probably have some needs. Oh!
He's retired.